Okay, just approaching 9:30, and the game's got very big very quickly. Last 3 turns have taken me quite a while. Not mechanic wise, but just thinking about the best course of action really. So let's start over here in the north and see what's been going on. So there has been a huge cavalry clash, which I mentioned last time. The French are getting the upper hand with. I think they probably are. The Prussians are just sort of recovering some of their cavalry now, and both sides are sort of set up outside their respective villages. There's been a preliminary bombardment. The Prussians hopefully are going to attack soon because they have their Russian corps come on to help, quite a powerful Russian corps, and rushing to the French defence is French corps. So this is heating up quite quickly now. I think the idea is now to get those allies to attack quickly before those reinforcements really. I mean, they've got a fairly way to go. The road's a long way round coming across here. There's a bit of broken ground, the river, that should slow them down sufficiently. So if these guys can get in quick, because these are under an attack order and so are these, that's going to become quite tasty quite quickly. Now this situation here is causing Napoleon a few problems. As we see over here, we have the reserve, which are part of the young guard and the old guard. We're not thinking about using the old guard yet, they're for desperate times. But this young guard, it's beginning to get a few options. I think Napoleon's been thinking about sending them this way, because this is a real concern if this line does not hold. That's unclear at the moment, but they're also required over there, and you'll see that shortly. So whether here or over here, its use isn't critical, but it could swing the balance either way. I'm not too sure where to put that at the moment, so have a little think about that. Down here we can see the Austrians have got their cannon set up, and there's a bit of ineffective bombardment going on. We did have a break of a unit down here due to cannon fire coming from the town, but pretty quiet. I imagine that's going to stay pretty quiet, unless of course this force here weakens, which of course ties into how these guys get on. Anyway, moving along the line, it's all been happening here. Okay, kind of it's just this turn. It's on a pause. Okay, the reserve, the Allied reserves have just gone on a pause now. They've been throwing everything forward, everything, and they look like, I mean, it's very unimaginative attacks, I have to admit, but every time it looks like I'm just about to do it, just about to do it. You can see they've got a couple of forces in here which are holding on quite well. They're quite big units. Morale, you know, this guy here, morale's not great, so I don't know how long he's going to last. But every time they get pushed back, and we've just got to the stage now where, well, we have had some rallying this turn. Morale's fatigue's on 5. We want that to drop down a bit before starting again, and I think we might send the infantry through the marshes this time. We'll have to see. They didn't want to halt, they didn't want to pause, because as you can see they've caused, I mean, they've been pushing hard. Casualties have been high from both forces this side, and it gives a chance for these guys to recover. However, it's beginning to, well, and we've had a good rally this phase actually, so they've just had a good rally, but we'll see. Okay, that's been quite an exciting little battle there. Moving further along, Mark Kleeberg's now been attacked, been taken by the Guard, which is causing the French a few problems. Basically, Victor's corps, that is Victor's corps, isn't it? Victor's corps is looking a bit shabby. You might notice that I've started using little counters to mark casualties. In the other games, I haven't had a problem remembering pretty much what condition a lot of the units in, but there are so many units here that I've been forgetting, and keep checking on the records being a bit of a pain. So I've gone for that. So I've got a big pack of, I use these for lots of different games, big pack of coloured markers, so it allows me to colour coordinate and give the French blue counters, and this one here, as you can see, white counters for the Austrians. And if I ever get to 5, I'll put a red one because some of these Austrian units are quite large. Okay, so moving on, let's going back to here. So they've got their fire, and that's where their orders are up to. We've had one unit, very brave, this guard unit here, it's a pretty tough unit, just charged the guns. These are being chipped away by guns. He just charged the guns and took them straight out. I mean, he took a lot of casualties, but he took the guns out and forced the guard unit, young guard unit there back. He's a bit on his own at the moment because these guys haven't got any orders to sort of follow him up, so he probably just to pull back. But there's more guns coming up. There's no guns here, of course. Can't get it through here. Begun to bring the guard cavalry through the woods here. There's not really any room for them to congregate. It's one of the reasons why he went off. So we really need to push out. This is an interesting dilemma because we have these guys and these guys still facing each other. Now these have just received orders to attack because what we don't want these guys is redeploying these guys. We want to make some space to get these units out of there. So it's going to be expensive, but you know, got to go for it, haven't we? And hopefully that will tie that up. But the big question is what's happening over here. There is a lot of French cavalry here that are just running amok. Okay, they've driven off the Prussian cavalry. They've pretty well destroyed the Russian cavalry. There is a little bit of Austrians that have just arrived. They just managed to rout these guys over here, I think. But basically, and there's one little Prussian unit still there, hanging on in there. It's just a matter of time. But they have bought enough time for these guys to swing the guns round. We've got some squares with artillery. Keeping squares okay. There's not many guns over here, but these guns here have started peppering away at these, and they'll probably bring them forward if they can. The Russians were under an attack command to take the Galgenberg, to put the guns up there now. Not what happened at the moment. Pretty much they've driven 5th Corps off, and the 5th Corps in a bad way. They've taken a few casualties. It didn't really work very well to the reinforcements of the Russian Grenadiers came along, and they swept all before them with a high morale. That was excellent. There's a few of those in helping out here as well. You know, morale, fatigue's built up a bit, but these guys are sort of pretty safe depending on what these guys do. Charging these squares is pretty ineffective, but there's a lot of cavalry there. And that's what's causing, if I step back, the issue here, you see. The Allies haven't wanted to commit these guys forward because of all this rear nonsense action coming in. But we can see we've got the new Austrian Corps coming in here, so they can fill that gap there. These are going to push forward to support the Russian advance there, let the Russians catch their breath. Hopefully engage these guys, give these guys turn to move forward. We've got the young guard here that are sort of split between defending these two areas here, neither of which they can really leave. We do have some cavalry there, so if there was a breakout of the cavalry here, we can try a bit of tit for tat there. But this is all getting very interesting. It's part of what's taken a long time is thinking about how to do this, how to move. Like I said, unimaginative attack here. These guys have plodded through, but being expensive. It has been expensive. You can see there's quite a few of the. I mean, all these guard units here have all got a few casualties on. They're not huge. They're not like these big Prussian units over here. Which takes us to what I initially said about these guys here. This young guard here, they're sort of what should I do with them? Napoleon's not too sure. If I step right back, we can see what the options. It's hard to get the whole map in, it's so huge. The options: should he commit the young guard over here, sweep away these Russians, because there's no doubt it would do that. It would sweep away the Russians and open up this flank here. Okay, and cause the Allies problems there. But doing so leaves very little on this side of the board. Now it's true there is another corps coming on here. It's quite a strong corps here. And it's probably going to be okay for a while. It depends if these can act quickly enough and do something here before these guys get here, because it's going to take them another, well, it can be another hour and a half before they're really ready to fight. They might get a little bit of an avant-garde, might be able to get some cavalry through, but not very much. They do have their cavalry force intact. That's going to be useful. I mean, there is quite a bit of cavalry coming in with these guys here, which seem to be nothing fantastic. What we got here, we've got These are, oh, they're Cossacks, aren't they? So they're not going to do much. Got Cossacks there, and I think there's only one unit of regular here. What we've got there, we've got some Lancers. It looks like Lancers or Chasseurs, can't quite tell there. Got those guys coming in there. So yes, we are, like I say, it's been taking some long turns, but it's really turning into a mammoth game. There's no way I can sort of get it all in one shot there. I mean, historically, the Allies were more around this way as well, so this part of the map's not being used much at the moment. I think the Allies are looking for a big punch through the middle here. You know, if they can punch through here, I think they feel the job's done really, with more reinforcements arriving. There's pretty much no more French reinforcements to arrive. I think we're only looking at more Allies. Let's have a quick look at the reinforcements. So we can see that there's a division coming on at 11. It's not going to make much difference, but if we look over here, we have got a whole Russian corps coming on at 11, okay, from Magdelenburg, which is all the way over there. It's where that one's come from. You see what I'm thinking about, the Young Guard being committed over there, because there'd be 3 corps against 2 corps there, which is not great. And at 11 o'clock, the road from Takao map 3. Okay, Takao map 3. Oh no, I'm looking on the wrong bit there, aren't I? Okay, we've got those. We've got 3 o'clock. So they're going to come on a lot later, and that's over that part of the board there as well. Okay, so there we go. It's been pretty cool. Quite a mammoth undertaking. Enjoying every minute at the moment.